Thank you. All right, welcome everybody. This is English 3E, the workplace. This is term 1 and this is the first class. I'm so glad to have everybody joining us today. This is the study guide. We're just going to kind of walk through all the different pieces of the study guide before we get started. Okay. This is a full credit course that will give you the opportunity to develop practical written and oral communication skills needed especially for today's workplace. I am Jillian Percy. My office hours are 9 to 12 and 1 to 4. If you want to call in during the session, you would call the studio at 1-800-465-7144. The class will be held from 1 to 2. There's been a change. So it's going to be from 1 to 1:50 every day, except for Friday. The Wahsa office is 1-800-667-3703. You're welcome to call the office during office hours for help or any other concerns. Just leave a message and I'll return your phone call. Also, there is my email or Facebook messages, and I can reply to either one of those. Fax is 1-800-463-7852. You can fax any of your unit work to me at any time. You do not need to wait for the entire unit to be completed to send it out for marking. My email is jillian.percy@nnecschools.org. Send me a message at any time and I will be replying as soon as possible. My Facebook is G Percy, capital G, capital P, ERCY, space, capital WAHSA, and my YouTube is exactly the same. So if you're looking for, want to listen to another Zoom meeting again, it will be there on YouTube. You should have units 1 to 5 and the study guide to be able to do the work. You also need the Road Ahead textbook and the Making It Work textbook. If you do not have any of those items, please contact us immediately so we can send them to you. They are absolutely crucial to be able to do this work. Evaluation. All of the unit assignments together from units 1 to 5 will count for 70% of your mark. The final activity in unit 5 is 10% of your mark, and the final exam will be 20% of your mark. So the bulk of your marks is coming from the unit assignments. So you can do really well in this course, even if you're not always great with doing exams. So don't worry about it. These unit assignments can get you through it. All right, course expectations. The next few pages are just kind of listing what we're going to be covering in general over this unit. You can probably read this over yourself. Yep, there's a whole bunch of pages on this. You're going to be able to understand the meaning of text, use your knowledge of the elements of fiction, nonfiction, drama, and poetry to understand things, describe a variety of reading strategies, describe the influence of personal and social values on readers and on authors. All right, you'll be able to understand the different forms of texts. You'll learn to understand the different elements of style and be able to use them. You will be able to investigate potential topics and do research for yourself. You will be able to classify and organize information and analyze information. By the end of this course, you will also be able to select an appropriate form to produce written work. You will be able to use the models that you read to help you do your writing. You will be able to select an appropriate person and level of language to write to. You will also, a big part of this course is going to be revising, learning how to revise your work. For almost all the assignments, we have a rough copy and a good copy. This is just kind of more details. Grammar, usage, spelling is all going to be important. So will punctuation. And we will work on developing vocabulary, understanding how vocabulary in what we read can affect your understanding. And you'll be able to communicate orally with me and with other classmates. Let's see. You will also be doing a bit of work with media in order to use your critical thinking skills, identify key elements of the variety of media forms, identify techniques, understand how media works to influence audience behavior. You will also do a little bit of creating media works to help expand on the information you're providing in your different assignments. Okay. All right, course calendar. There are 9 weeks to this course. Week 1 and 2, we'll be looking at Unit 1, which is called Preparing for the Journey. Weeks 3 and 4, we will be looking at Unit 2, which is called Setting Out. Weeks 5 and 6, we will look at Unit 3, The Journey. Weeks 7 and 8, we will look at Unit 4, Attaining the Quest. The final week, week 9, is our Unit 5, What the Future Holds. It is also when you'll work on your culminating activity and the final exam. Underneath that, you will see your assignment calendar. We do not want to wait until week 9 to send everything in to me, okay? So for Unit 1, try to have everything completed by week 3. For Unit 2, try to have everything completed by week 5. For Unit 3, try to have everything completed for week 7. And Unit 4 and 5 is good to be done by the end of week 9. Next up is kind of a short form of a learning skills rubric. This is what's going to go on the report card. You probably have seen this before. This is just looking at your learning skills. It isn't really looking at your work. It's more about how you do your work. So we're looking at whether you're able to work independently, whether you're able to work with others, how your organization is, your work habits or your homework, and your initiative. So we'll be looking at all that to do our report cards. All right, the next 2 pages are more looking at the actual work itself. A pass is 50 in this course. So 50 to 59 is a level 1 or a D. 60 to 69 is a level 2 or a C. 70 to 79 is a level 3 or a B, and 80 to 100 is a level 4. We will be looking at your knowledge of forms, your understanding of the information, ideas, and concepts, your understanding of the relationships among facts, ideas, concepts, and themes, and your understanding of the uses and effect of rhetorical or stylistic devices in literary and informational text. We'll also be looking at your thinking, critical and creative thinking skills, the way you can reflect, analyze items, explain things. We will also be looking at your inquiry skills, how you're able to formulate questions, plan assignments, select strategies, analyze, interpret, form conclusions. Then we're looking at communication, how you communicate the information ideas. This is a crucial element in this course. Communication is probably the key thing we are looking at. We are looking at how you communicate with different audiences, different purposes, and we're looking at the various forms of communication: essays, narratives, debates, poems, reports. Finally, application. Application of required language conventions like grammar, usage, spelling, punctuation. There are courses where those do not matter, but this is English and it will matter. We will be looking at this. Application of oral communication and media conventions and techniques. Application of reading strategies. In order to do well in this course, we're really going to have to work on our reading strategies. Application of the writing process, choice of topic, revising, use of resources, application of technology, and making connections between English and other subjects, between English and the world, and between experiences in the texts. All right, let's look at the next page. Okay. The next page has a little outline in yellow, and the reason is because this is not in your study guide. This is just some extra notes that I hope will be helpful in order for you to do well in this course, okay? Study tips. If you are able to get to the Learning Center to do your work, That can be a great way to help yourself stay on track and have someone around to help you if you find an assignment confusing or need some assistance. If you are working from home, take some time right now to think about how are you going to get the work done? Do you have a quiet place where you can work and use your device or your computer and others know to let you work and leave you be? Many of the assignments need the rough draft to be handwritten, so make sure you have some lined paper for those assignments. Do you have a place to store the books, the study guides, the units, pens, pencils, dictionaries? This could be a drawer or a special shelf, something that people know not to touch or not to move, so you can always just find your stuff real easily. If you are doing any of your work on paper and storing it at home, please make sure others know how important these papers are so they don't accidentally get used for kindling or for young artists to draw on. I mention this because I've known people who've had this happen. It can be especially important with your handwritten rough drafts. Sometimes it doesn't look important to people. They don't realize it's your assignments. So just make sure it's in that one special spot and people know not to touch it. You also want to think about when is the best time to get your work done? After supper each day so it doesn't get forgotten, after the kids go to bed so it's nice and quiet. Having a specific time each day that you're going to do the work on your course can help make you sure that you get a little bit done each day rather than letting it pile up to the end of the week. There are a lot of assignments every day. If you wait to the end of the week, it's going to be overwhelming. So try and do a little bit each day. Taking a few minutes right now to think about what will work best for you and your family and telling your family what the plan is can help them make this course successful for you as well. There are a variety of ways to hand in your completed work. You can give a copy of it to the DEC at your learning center and have them send it for me. Always, 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 please keep a copy for yourself. Sometimes things go missing and it can be really discouraging to have an assignment go missing if you haven't got a copy of the original. If you're doing your work on a computer, you can simply email it to me. For your work that is handwritten, you can take a scan with your phone. Some people's phone is great and do a wonderful job of this. If your phone is not so great, you can also try a little app called Adobe Scan. You can download it for free. It's very easy to use. Try and check and make sure before you send things to me that it's clear, that you can read it. If it comes in and it's all fuzzy, I can't mark it and you're not going to get the marks for it. So it needs to be really clear for me. You can fax it to the Wahsa office and they will give it to me. I am available during office hours to help with assignments. If it is after hours, just send me an email telling me what you need help with, and I'll do my best to get back to you promptly on the next business day. Also, send me your work as you complete it. There are a lot of assignments in this course, and there's a lot of students. It's going to be very easy to get behind on the work. Plus, if you're sending me things as you go, I can provide feedback and let you know what's working and what needs to improve. So that can improve your overall grade. So just doing a little bit at a time is really a key to success in this course. Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit about rough copy and good copy because I've seen students have a problem with this before. Oftentimes they're like, well, the rough copy is my ideas. I don't really know how to fix it. So I kind of wanted to talk about the differences in this because it does come up a lot in this course. First of all, a lot of times the rough copy, they ask you to send it in handwritten. They don't want you to do it on the computer. I think it's probably just to make sure that it's your own work and that we can see kind of the trail of thought between the rough copy and the good copy. So it's fine for your rough copy to have spelling mistakes, words or sentences crossed out, arrows where you've written different words or added an extra sentence, might have run-on sentences, might have forgotten punctuation. It's fine. It's your first draft. I'm not worried too much about that. The good copy can be handwritten, or you can do it on a computer. But the work itself needs to be very different than the good copy. If the words in the sentences look almost exactly the same as the rough copy, with no deletions and no additions, then I'm sorry, but you haven't done the work that's needed, okay? Your good copy needs to be neat and readable. All sentences have to have a subject, predicate, and use punctuation. The paragraphs need to be organized with all the sentences in each paragraph relating to the one main topic. You've added details to paragraphs that are too short or to make your ideas clearer or more interesting. You've answered the questions as fully as possible, and any spelling mistakes have been fixed. So here's an example of a rough copy and a good copy. This is kind of the example of what not to do. I just want to show you that first. So here's my rough copy. This is kind of my own writing as if I was answering one of the assignments. Rough copy. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I grew up in Windsor. I moved to Cat Lake in 2005. I worked as a teacher in the school up there for a lot of years. I taught a lot of different grades. I liked it up there. It was pretty. I got to see a lot of different animals. I got to meet many different teachers from all sorts of places. I really liked working with the children. I will miss it. Now, you can see in the good copy, I haven't really changed a whole lot. I put it in red so you can see. I joined a few sentences. I grew up in Windsor. Then I moved to Cat Lake. I fixed a few spelling mistakes. I added like moose and eagles, but really my rough copy and my good copy, they're not that different, okay? So often you're getting like 10 marks for the rough copy and 10 marks for the good copy. In this case, the good copy hasn't got enough changes for me to be able to give it good marks, okay? So here's a different example where there's a lot more changes. The rough copy is exactly the same. I haven't changed that. What I have changed, and again, you can see I put the changes in red. There's a lot more changes. I added a lot more details, basically just to try and make this more interesting. So here I've said, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I grew up in Windsor, which is a city in the very southernmost part of Ontario. My house was at the edge of town where there weren't many other people. I have a lot of good memories of walking in the woods, trying to catch crayfish in the creek, and canoeing down the stream. I got my teaching degree in the year 2000 and did supply work back in Windsor for 4 years, but I was bored and wanted something different. I moved to Cat Lake in 2005 to teach grade 5 and 6. I taught a lot of different grades because I really enjoyed seeing what the students could do at different ages. I liked it up there because it was very pretty. I loved having a view of the water and going for a walk in the bush. I got to see a lot of different animals like moose and eagles. A couple of times I even had a bear right by my front porch. I got to meet many different teachers from all sorts of places like Poland and Africa and Jamaica. I really liked working with all the children. I will miss it, but I know I can always go back for a visit. So here you can see my one small paragraph has turned into 3 paragraphs. I've added a lot more details about my past. I've tried to explain a little bit more about the things that I found interesting in Cat Lake. My last paragraph is maybe a little bit short, but overall, I've made a lot of significant changes. This is what I'm looking for. When you are shifting from your rough copy to your good copy, I am really looking for a lot of changes. Now, like I said, this part is not in your study guide. We are going to move on now to Unit 1. So hang on a second while I pull it up on the screen. Just see here. Oops, sorry, I just got to say this thing first before it lets me go. Ooh. All right. If you are right now there, take a look and grab your Unit 1. Okay. I'm going to pull up mine as well. This is a new computer to me. Okay, and you can see it is the one that has the lovely little walk through the forest. This is the unit called Preparing for the Journey. And you can see it still has my information on, although it looks like I've got the year wrong. I apologize for that. Let's go back up to the top and see what we've got here. Oop. Oop. There we go. Okay. So again, this is Unit 1. This is kind of where the work starts. It says, welcome to grade 11 English, Workplace Preparation, ENG3E. This is a full credit course. It focuses on communication skills needed to succeed in today's workplace. Speaking, listening, reading, viewing, and writing, all essentials of communication will be explored. However, the emphasis in this course will be placed especially on written communication and to a lesser degree, oral communication. The theme of this whole course is the journey, both the journey through life and the journey from one stage of life to another. And the content of the units in this course will reflect this theme, both in what we read and how you're going to respond. You will learn about the characteristics of literacy and informational texts through reading materials and samples for viewing. You will also have the opportunity to create your own samples of some of these forms to demonstrate your understanding of them. Using language clearly, accurately, and effectively in a variety of contexts is an important focus in this course. The use of visuals to enhance one's understanding of written communication will be examined as well. In recent years, technological innovation with the computers had a great impact on how business is conducted in many work environments, and this issue will also be explored during the course. Through a variety of practical applications, the goal of this course will be both to inform you of their importance in preparation for the work and to enhance your overall ability to communicate with others as needed. Being able to communicate effectively in a variety of ways is very important to ensure success while you're still in school and for the workplace beyond. It is absolutely necessary that you are prepared for the challenges and experiences that today's workplace has in store. You may already be employed, either part-time or full-time, or perhaps you've had some other work experience. Whatever your present situation happens to be, this course will be useful to you as you're taking your journey through life. Let's see if we can kind of bring that up a little bit. Will that move over? There we go. Okay. This course is divided into 5 units of study. Each unit has a culminating activity. Unit 5 contains an overall culminating activity, which will be the development of a personal essay. This essay will draw upon your knowledge and skills acquired from units 1 to 5, but the main focus will be on your personal journey. Where have you been? Where are you now? And what are you planning or hoping to achieve in the future? This essay will be a practical conclusion to your examination of literary and informational texts for workplace preparation. Okay. Please note throughout this course, use of a computer on the major assignments in particular is recommended. You can use either WordPerfect or Microsoft Word with some final copies of assignments and also the internet for doing some research. In addition, they don't mention here, but you can easily use Google has its own Docs program. You can use that too. That's just fine. You will have the opportunity to do some emailing if you wish during the course as well. Using a dictionary and a thesaurus. Access to a good dictionary and thesaurus during this course will definitely improve your overall learning experience and success. Quite a few of the assignments actually ask you to define something. You're going to need to use a dictionary for that. Dictionary will give you the meanings of words you are not familiar with, whether they be nouns, verbs, or adjectives. A thesaurus will give you a listing of words with similar meanings to any words you are interested in. Such words are known as synonyms. For example, collect and assemble kind of mean the same thing. On the other hand, antonyms are words having opposite meanings. For example, hot versus cold. In a variety of workplaces, understanding synonyms and antonyms and being able to use them on occasion is important. Incidentally, homonyms are words that sound alike but have different meanings and spellings. These will add both variety and quality to your work. Both the dictionary and thesaurus are useful resources when applied to reading and writing activities during this course. Now, if you're set up at a learning center, they probably have dictionaries and thesauruses here, but I know not everybody is near a learning center. So there are also online dictionaries and thesauruses. Let me see here if my link works, hopefully. Oh, I don't know if it's going to work. Well, here is an example of one. No, today it doesn't want to work. All right. I don't want to spend a lot of time on that, but Merriam-Webster is a great dictionary. It will usually give you not only the meaning, but it will also give you synonyms and antonyms. It'll be really useful. And again, as I said, some of the assignments are looking up the meaning of a word. All right, here we are listing all 5 units. We've talked about that before. The big thing different here is they're telling you how many hours each unit needs. Most of the units you can see need 25 hours. The only unit that's different, number 4, it only needs about 10 hours. It's a little bit shorter unit. And just so you know how you can plan your time. Table of contents, this just tells you where everything is in here. We've talked about this already, the assessment and the evaluation. Final exam, there will be a variety of tasks to complete in order to assess and evaluate your overall understanding of the course material, and it will be worth 20% of your overall mark. Okay, mentioned this before, but here's a nice little picture that shows you the textbook. The road ahead is got the readings that we're going to be doing, and the one called Making It Work has a lot of the assignments. So you need both to be able to do this course well. Forms to be read, studied, and responded to during the course include poetry, songs, plays, short stories, newspapers and magazine articles, workplace items, instructions, and visual information. Okay. The two books are meant to work together. Okay. With Making It Work, you have the opportunity to make a connection with the selections from the road ahead through a range of reading, writing, language, and media activities as listed in the table of contents. Sorry, guys, I don't know why this is popping up there. Just get rid of that. Okay. There is also a section on the various elements of grammar. We're not really going to study that a whole lot, but it is there if you need to refer to. You are not expected to complete all the listed activities in Making It Work, nor are you expected to read and respond to all the selections in the road ahead. We are doing only a few selections. Those two books are huge. Do not get overwhelmed. We do not cover everything, trust me. All right, any reading you want to do beyond the required selections is welcomed and encouraged, but it is absolutely not necessary to be successful in this course. Okay. Unit 1, preparing for the journey. This introductory unit establishes the theme of the whole course, both the journey through life and the journey from one stage of life to another. The key to most journeys is to get prepared, to set goals, to take the journey, to achieve goals along the way, and to set new goals. You will be reading about and reflecting upon various texts about journeys and how others have prepared for them. You will be, I'm not sure what happened there, guys. You will be encouraged to ask and answer questions about yourself and your own goals in life. Who are you? Who are the people who have shaped you? How do you help shape the world around you? These are questions you will be thinking about while working through Unit 1. There are a lot of assignments in Unit 1. And in this unit, they've showed you the assignments based on what book it comes into. I'm going to try and group the assignments according to what reading selection it's connected to, but I am going to show you these pages because this is what you have a copy of, and my stuff is a little bit extra. So I'm going to show you what they've got, just so you know. Okay, so there are 3 tables. Okay, table 1 is telling you what we're going to be reading in the road ahead for this unit, not the whole course, just this unit. Okay, table 2 goes into what things you're going to be reading in Making It Work and some of the reading selections in road ahead. Table 3 has some more assignments from the textbooks, and there is one extra assignment list before table 3 that has about 10 questions. So there are about 4 lists you need to be aware of, and there is the final culminating assignment. I would not suggest looking at these tables and trying to just work your way. Like, don't look at table 1 and go, okay, first I'm going to read this and then I'm going to read this, because the assignments work together. I'm not sure why they've kind of separated them this way. I think it's harder to understand. I kind of put them back in order later, but I do want to kind of just walk through this so you can see. So here you can just see there's 4 little pieces. We're doing a piece of poetry. We're looking at a play called Teach Me the Ways of Sacred Circle. We're looking at a newspaper article and then a magazine article. Okay. Now, the next table lists all the reading assignments for the textbook Making It Work. These articles are meant to teach certain skills so that you can then apply these skills in the different reading selections. I'm not going to read all of that. The one thing I will point out is this kind of section in the middle is the grammar section. You don't have to read that. If you're good with grammar, don't worry about it, but it's there in case you get confused and want to check on something, okay? At the bottom, it talks about sentence and paragraph writing. When it comes to communicating and writing as applied to the workplace, the most commonly used forms a person can choose from to share a message are letters, memos, emails, and reports. When composing any of the above noted forms of communication, it is of utmost importance that some good sentences be written, and as necessary, to develop some good sentences into paragraphs. A sentence must contain a subject, a verb, and express a complete thought. We will go into that a little bit more on another day, but it's just really important that you're writing in full sentences, not fragments. Oh, hang on a sec. Oh, it disappeared. Hang on. Okay. Talks a little bit here about writing a paragraph. You have to have a topic sentence. You have to have a bunch of different sentences related to the topic. Here is an example of a good paragraph. When you choose a post-secondary institution to attend, there are many issues to consider. You must consider the type of program you wish to pursue and determine which schools offer the most valuable course of study for your goals. You and your family must discuss the relative costs of various types of programs, deciding which schools are affordable to you. Your academic ability must be considered in terms of competition and grade requirements. Your personality must be taken into consideration as well. Are you prepared to work hard and be committed to doing well in your courses? Do you prefer large classes or small? Are you prepared to move, if necessary, to a bigger community or a city? Do you function best in a structured or a loose setting? Choosing a post-secondary institution is a serious endeavor, encompassing many different elements regarding the school, your goals, your abilities, and your preferences. Okay, so just a quick look at this paragraph. Let me see here. Grab my highlighter. All right, up top first is your topic sentence, that there's a lot of issues to consider when you're trying to figure out where you're going to go after high school. The meat of this paragraph is all the different details. And then it closes basically with a sentence that kind of summarizes what you've talked about, right? They often talk about a paragraph being a hamburger. There's a bun on top, that's your open. There's the stuff in the middle, that's like your meat, your tomato, all your toppings. And then there's a bun on the bottom that kind of explains what you talked about, okay? So we will be using that format in our writing. Okay. This, sorry, it's missing the page 8, so I kind of put it on mine. This is the extra assignment list, okay? This is not based out of necessarily either the reading book or the anthology book. It is somewhat loosely connected though, okay? I will let you know when those assignments need to be done, but I just kind of want to let you know this is the page 8 because they do refer to it at one point and go page 8, but then you can't find page 8. This is the rest of the assignments, same thing. Okay. Table 3. All right, table 3 is a lot. It's kind of overwhelming when you first see it. I want to explain how it's set up. One side is making it work. So, hang on. You can see that this side is all about the book making it work. It's telling you what the activity is and where's the page number, and then how much it's worth. A lot of these are tiny little assignments. They aren't going to take you very long, and they aren't necessarily worth a whole lot. Take a look at how much they're worth, though. Obviously, an assignment that's worth only 5 marks, you probably don't have to do a lot of writing for. An assignment that's worth 10 marks, you probably need to do a little bit more. So do look at the marks as you're doing your writing, because it does make a big difference as to how much writing you're going to do. Then, if you look over here, the other side is the other book. The other side is called The Road Ahead. And there's assignments like in the book, it'll say before you read, and you'll be on page 4, and it's a little assignment. And then you would do the actual reading. Here, they want you to define the words, diverged and hence. So again, remember we talked about using the dictionary? That is when you're going to use it. All those assignments altogether equal 100 marks, but you can see most of them are tiny assignments. They're two marks, 3 marks. Some of them are a little bit more. And obviously, those ones try and spend a little bit more time on. Okay. Let's see how we're doing for time here. All right. I will go back over this a little bit more later, but I do want to touch on it at the end of this unit, which is only 2 weeks, right? So we only have 2 weeks. This is the culminating activity for this unit. It's called Which Road to Take, and it's worth 50 marks. So they want you to develop a short essay, giving you the opportunity to answer the questions outlined in the description section back on page 8. You were encouraged to ask and answer questions about yourself and your own goals in life. Who are you? Who are the people who've shaped you? How do you help shape the world around you? Assuming that you and your teacher, which is me, have never met, and therefore don't know anything about you, except that you're taking this course, you're going to describe yourself and tell me where you've been. So basically, you're just kind of sharing information about your life's journey so far. For example, you might want to begin with something like, I was born in Muskrat Dam in 19 whenever, and I am the second oldest of 5 children. Kind of like how I did with my short paragraph. It's really your decision what to say afterwards. And the topics to include in your essay are, they listed them all here: early family life, your friends, special events, favorite pastimes growing up, a trip taken with family or friends, community involvement, volunteer paid, people looked up to, accomplishments over the years, and plans, if any, for the near future. The essay, you're going to have there's a article on the writing process outlined in pages 50 to 53 of your textbook. We're going to look at that and give you some ideas on how to work on your essay, okay? It may seem a little bit intimidating right now. I promise you, by the time we get to there in 2 weeks, it really won't be. All right. Hang on a second. One quick note: only provide information in your essay that you feel comfortable sharing. You don't have to tell me every single detail of your life, right? Just share enough about yourself to meet the length requirement. It's great to know where we've been in life and where we've experienced successes and failures, happiness and sadness, to help us prepare for the road ahead. Again, this is what we talked about, where there's a rough draft, 2 pages, must be handwritten, and then a final copy on computer. Then it shows you the evaluation. There'll be 5 marks just for a title page, which needs to include a graphic, your name, the course, the date, 20 marks for the rough copy, and 25 marks for the final copy. All right, so that is the rough outline of what we're going to do just in the next two weeks. This is not the whole course. This is just the next 2 weeks. Now, I found all the different tables kind of confusing, so I tried to put it into a more concise format. So here you can see, right here, we've got week 1. That's the week we're on right now, okay? And we are here on Tuesday. Tuesday, after you're finished listening to this, try and read pages 2 to 11. And you can go to the extra assignment page and look at questions 1 to 4. They're short little questions. They're easy. They should not be too hard to figure out. Each time you can see it's telling you whether it's in the textbook called Making It Work, whether it's part of the Road Ahead assignments, or whether it's part of the extra assignments. Because we've got 3 different sources for assignments, I wanted to make sure it was really clear where you were looking for the assignments. I also tried to chunk the work up so there's not too much on any one day. Obviously, you can do some more on weekend and get caught up if you want to. By next weekend, we're going to be doing the big, giant culminating activity, okay? So each day we'll kind of talk a little bit about what the assignments are and how to do them. Okay, let's see where we are next. Okay, so this stuff is coming from the book called Making It Work. The first little assignment is really just talking about reading in general. And a lot of times people will tell me, well, I don't really read that much. And often when people say that, they really just mean that they don't read a lot of books. But in our world today, we're surrounded by words. And often we're just kind of unaware of all the reading we do over the course of a week. So here is a short list of some of the types of reading people do. And as we go through this, think about how many of these did you read in the last week yourself? Television guides. I don't know if these even exist. Is there an old item that used to exist all the time? Music notes, greeting cards, magazines or e-zines, signs, instructional manuals, textbooks, posters, baseball or other sports schedules, timetables, postcards, short stories, comics, recipes, job applications, phone messages, CD covers, email messages, novels, poems, game instructions, internet sites, classified ads, memes, messenger notes, school notes, community announcements, and maps. So, for example, if I was looking at this, I'm just kind of thinking about what I've read in the last little week. I'm going to grab the pink here. I've definitely read some notes. I've read some magazines, signs, instructional manuals, textbooks. I've seen posters. I have not read sports schedules, sorry. Short stories, comic books, recipes, job apps, phone messages, email messages. I've definitely read a novel, game instructions, internet sites. Didn't really read any classified ads, Facebook ads, memes, messenger notes, school notes, community announcements. So just adding this up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. For myself, I read about 20 different types of reading. So often we're just doing it as we're kind of going by, and we don't really think about the fact that we use our reading skills all the time. So that's one thing we're going to be kind of focusing on, is getting our reading skills a little bit more under our control and being able to use them in all sorts of different situations, not just when we're reading novels, because reading novels is fun, but it's not really the bulk of the reading we're doing. All right. It also talks about the fact that we read for a lot of different purposes. And what purpose we're reading for guides what formats or what types of reading we do. For example, if you're reading for enjoyment or entertainment, maybe you're reading novels or game instructions or comics or poems. Maybe you're looking at internet sites or memes. Whatever makes you happy is what you're looking at there. The next purpose, informational or to learn, well, that's different because you're trying to find out something. So you might be looking at a textbook. Maybe you're reading a note from the school. Maybe you're reading community announcements about what to do for COVID procedures. Maybe you're looking at a sports magazine or a hunting magazine. Maybe you're looking at a health poster or trying to read a job application or reading recipes. We do that kind of reading all the time. We don't always notice it. The other kind of reading is a lot of times we're surrounded by a lot of persuasive reading, reviews of games or movies, messages from a friend saying, hey, let's go do this. Letters from somebody who's asking for money or asking you to come do an event with them. Newspaper opinion pieces where they're commenting on current events, advertisements or commercials. So there's different types of reading, and that affects the purpose, and they're connected, right? Why we're reading and what we're reading is connected. I'm going to cover one more little bit of thing, and then we're going to be wrapping up here. Understanding what you read. There are 4 main groups of skills that help us understand what we read. Number 1, recognizing what words mean. That covers decoding, but also knowing what a word means. Number 2, understanding directly stated information. Sometimes it's really obvious. It just says, okay, deer are 3 foot high or whatever. Number 3, understanding indirectly stated information. Sometimes you have to read between the lines or make some inferences to understand what you're reading. That part can get tricky. Number 4, interpreting what you read. Let's say you're looking at a map and you're having to kind of go, okay, well, this is a major highway. This is a smaller highway. So where am I going to be able to go faster? Which way will work better for us? The information is there. You've got to decide how it applies to your life. Okay, last page here. Steps to good understanding. Whenever you're reading, right now we're kind of talking about this consciously. Later on, this just becomes stuff you instinctively do. Before you read, you think about, why am I reading this? What's the purpose? What kind of text is it? What do I already know about this topic? Are there any subtitles or headings that might give me an idea about what the main content will be? Are there any pictures, diagrams, or illustrations that will help me understand the text better? A lot of times looking at those before you even read gives you a great idea of what the text is going to be about. During reading, thinking about some keywords that catch your attention or that don't quite understand. What's the main idea in each paragraph or on a page? What are you learning? What do you think is going to happen next? What questions do you still have? When you're finished reading, kind of reflect back on what you were reading. What did you learn that was new? What are some questions you still have? What were some new words or new concepts that you learned? How would you summarize what you've learned in just a few sentences? Were there any places where I had to read between the lines or interpret some information that was a little bit ambiguous? So this is all coming out of the textbook called Making It Work. The next few pages, pages 7 to 12, they give you a lot of little exercises where you get a chance to practice these reading strategies. So I really encourage you to take a look at that and try and do some of that. Now, I'm just going to refer us real quick to our assignment sheet. You can see, if you could please read pages 2 and 11, that would be great. I've kind of talked about them generally, but it's great to do the reading yourself. And for assignments, if you could look at assignment 1 to 4 on the extra assignment sheet, it's really just 4 quick little questions. It won't take you long. All right, we are wrapping up. I hope you enjoyed the first class, and I look forward to seeing you in the next class. Please have a great day, and let me know if you have any problems with anything that has been going on today. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.